Sutton Arts Theatre was created by two gentlemen, Paul Rice and William Wesley Harcombe, in 1945. And they thought it was time that Sutton Coldfield had another little theatre. Highbury, of course, had already started. And they began with a play at Sutton Town Hall in aid of the Red Cross, because it was the end of the wartime and they were still very much involved with that. And it was very successful. So they decided that they would go ahead with plans to build Sutton another little theatre. Well, they didn't get any building at all. They rented property, and they rented a cafe above a building in Park Road, which is now Walton Housing, on the corner of Park Road and Upper Clifton Road. And we used to meet there every Wednesday night, and we had prose and poetry evenings and play readings and get-togethers, and we used to rehearse there. And we did 3 major plays at Sutton Town Hall. And we ran those for 3 nights, which is what you used to do. You used to set up on one night and then play for 3 and then strike it. And then this building that we're sitting in now came on the market. It was the old slipper baths, and it was owned by Sutton Coldfield Corporation, because Sutton, as you know, was the royal town then, and it looked after its own selves. And this front here was full of old baths and loos and a kitchen, all white tiled. And during the war, people used to come and have a bath for 6pence, I understand. They were supplied with a towel and a bar of soap. And these were people that didn't have bathrooms in their own houses. And then, because it was still wartime, they had an old hut at the back here, attached to the front of the building, which was to be a mortuary in case we were very heavily bombed or raided. And I understand that it was used only once with 2 corpses. And I don't know where those corpses came from, but they came from the city of Birmingham somewhere, which was heavily blitzed. And they started to pull out the old baths.
Nicholas Barnes directs rehearsals for The Wizard of Oz during the theatre's 50th anniversary year.
Patrick,
Yes.
walk into the scene rather than pushing the character to one side. When you come on, when this filch is on.
Oh, right.
Just walk through it, part it rather than, because I saw a lovely glimpse of the paint scene.
We had Molly Badham here as a guest on one Wednesday night, with all the stacking chairs going down in rows. She bought her famous monkeys and did an evening for us, and at the end of the evening one of these little monkeys decided that he would go under the seating, not under the chairs but under the rows of planks that the seats were on. So we had to take all the stacking chairs away and take all the racks away. And as we took the last one out, so this little monkey appeared and said, "Here I am." We weren't best pleased.
Oh, jeepers! My heart's thumping so loud I can't hardly breathe. Toto! Toto! No need to be scared anymore. She isn't following us. I won't let her touch you nohow.
We had a member called Wilfred Clark at one time who was editor of Sutton Coldfield News. And he was married to a lady who had been in theatre called Janet Latimer. And Janet Latimer produced plays here. And she used to come down in the day and sort of get the set ready for her actors, and swore that once she came into the theatre on her own, she saw a ghost. And we thought, oh, that's ridiculous, no ghost here. But she swore it was the ghost of her mother. So I don't know what her mother was doing here. But we couldn't get cleaners as a result when this news of this ghost got out. But we've never seen anything like that. It can be a bit spooky at night when you come in on your own and the theatre's dark. But there's nothing unpleasant about it at all.
Clouds darken up the skyway. It's the rainbow highway to be found. Leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. The dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Of course, we've had well-known people that have started with us. We had Jane Rossington, who was in Crossroads, and spoke the first words in that and the last words. And we've had other people. And we've got two at the moment. We've got Tony Timmins in Greece at the Alec, and we've got Adrian Smith, who is in Tommy, which might be going on to a tour. We don't really know.
And I'll never see him again as long as I live. Toto! Toto! Oh, you came back! You got away from that horrible woman! Oh, you wonderful dog! But we've got to get away. She'll be coming back for you any minute. We've got to run away.
Our golden year. Well, the theatre celebrated its 50th birthday, if you can call it, in 1995. And we had not only the 7 productions, ending with the musical The Wizard of Oz, which was a tremendous effort. We had social events as well. We had dinner parties and barbecues and special events. And we had a big marquee which was across the whole of the frontage of the theatre, because we needed that as an extension to the theatre when we had our civic night and our gala evenings. And that was quite successful, actually. And it was a very eventful and a very happy year. And we had a lot of old members that we asked to come back, people that had retired and moved away to the south of England. And Paul Rice, who is still with us, he lives in Exeter now. He was one of the founders of the theatre. He was able to come back. So it was very pleasant. Well, it's always difficult because little theatre is big business now. And we wanted to buy the freehold of the theatre. And we asked Birmingham City, because we're all part of Birmingham now, whether it was possible to buy the freehold of this site. And they quoted a figure at 75,000, which we just couldn't afford. So we asked if they would bring down the price. It took quite a bit of bargaining, but eventually they brought it down to 45,000. And we had got that money, we had raised that money. The only people that have ever helped us with money have been Sutton Coldfield Municipal Charities, and they've given us 2 awards. But all the other money that has created this theatre has been raised by members, and we're in the black. We've never been in the red, which is great.
Morally, ethically, physically, positively, absolutely, undeniably,
Bloody hell.
as coroner, I must defer. I thoroughly examined her, and she's not only nearly dead, she really is sincerely dead.
Now that we own the freehold, we are hoping to rebuild certain parts of the theatre. And Sutton Coldfield Municipal Charities have given us money towards that. But in order to do the whole of the theatre, because you see it's 50 years old now, we want more money. We should probably apply to the lottery for that, but that's an enormous task, huge task. But we would like to get money from the lottery if possible, so we could redo the backstage and the auditorium.
The yellow brick road.
Follow 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 the yellow brick road.
Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. We claim he is a wizard, if ever a wiz there was. If ever, oh, ever a wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Make the noise.
You can't be optimistic. I think the lottery is now going away from arts into sports more. We might be lucky, but we can only try, you know, and do the best we can. And be optimistic, as you say. Theatres are finding it a bit difficult at the moment because young people don't stay as long as they used to. You get a lot of talent, but they probably come in until they go to university, or they become discovered and go into professional theatre. And without young people to carry it on, it's very difficult to answer that question. Hopefully there are always people that will carry it on, but all the little theatres would say the same thing to you, that they remain optimistic, but young people today have got so many things to choose from, so it's not easy.
But what happened